Hello, karibu SolidWorks Tanzania. Huu ni mwendelezo wa AutoCAD 3D drawing. This is where this is what we did from the previous lesson on preview of 3D drawings in in AutoCAD. And so tuliangalia built-in features ambazo zinakusaidia kufanya rapid prototyping of a number of common shapes. So we did the box and then a cylinder. We also saw a cone, a sphere, a pyramid, a wedge, and a torus, right? Which is currently on the screen here. It's a torus. So today tunaendelea sasa na modeling features kwenye AutoCAD na we'll do one feature after the other. So these features, hizi hizi other feature ambazo tunaenda kuziona leo zinatusaidia ku convert a 2D sketch into a 3D appearance, right? So let's say we want to create a rectangular box of, let's say, 50 by 30, let's say by 30, right? So let me delete this one. So first, ukiwa unachora lazima uamue unataka kuchora from which side, either is it from the top or from the front, and I'll show you the difference. You'll see the difference, right? So let's say you want to draw from the top, and mostly when you're starting to draw, just start with 2D wireframe. All right, just 2D wireframe, two-dimensional wireframe. It helps you to put more features on top of another feature ikiwa kwenye 2D wireframe more easily, right? So how do we go about this? So let's say we want to create a rectangular box, let's say from the top, and then I'll show you if we draw the same rectangular box from the front view, and you will see the orientation of the 3D object has changed. So let's say we want to draw a rectangular box from the top. So I've selected here top view. When I want to extrude it now is when I'll take it to an isometric view. So top view, so here this is our drawing command. So let's say corner rectangle, so starting point here. So let's say D for dimension, D for dimension, D for dimension. Naweza kuchora na line to line moja, naweza kufanya hivyo, lakini let's say D for dimension, and then let's say length of this rectangle is, let's say 50, and the width of this rectangle is, let's say 30, right? All right. Okay. Escape. Oh, sorry. Repeat. First point here. D for dimension. D for dimension. The length is 50. The width is 30. Okay. Okay. So let's say the other corner. So now I can specify the other corner that I want this square to be on. So it's got the right, I'm at the left, I'm at the top, I'm at the bottom. So let's say the right. And then zoom here. Okay. So after that, if I want to extrude this into a box now, this is the top view. Let me change here to isometric. So you see how this is appearing. It's appearing, the XY is on the top. So if I come here and click extrude, it says here select object. So I select object here and I say click enter, and then I can give it to the top or to the bottom. If I give a positive value, the box will go upward. So let's say 30, enter, right? So that's a rectangular box. And then from there you can change it into shaded with edges. You see? I hope you see how it looks. So you see the top view is the one that we drew earlier, right? So let's say we want to draw the same box, but from the front view now. You see? So let me come here and say front view. You see? And let me draw the same let me draw the same rectangle in the front view. So select corner rectangle here, specify starting point, let's say here. Let's say D for dimension. So length, let's say 50, and width, let's say 30 again, and let's say to this direction. And now let me shift this to southwest isometric. Do you see what I'm saying here? So you see, this is the front view. You see, it's drawn on the front view, not top view. So the front view. Okay. So then if I say click here, extrude, select object, this one, enter, you see my extrusion way. It's either to the back or to the front. So you see, the side that you decide to draw your 2D sketch governs how you will extrude it. If you draw it from the right, you can extrude it either to the right or to the left. If you draw it from the top, the 2D sketch, then you can extrude it and give it a 3D feature, either upward or downward. You see, if you draw it on the front, then you can give it a 3D feature by extruding it either to the front direction or at the back. I hope you have understood it. I didn't give it this dimension. I just click to a point where I see fit. Now I can change here and say shaded with edges, and it's like that. Okay. So yeah, I see. I hope you have understood the difference. So kule mbele wakati tunaanza kufanya exercises, you will see more of this. So what if I want to extrude, let's say, a cylinder on top of this rectangle, right? So and let me change here to, let's say, no, from this view orientation, let me change this to 2D wireframe. And here's what I'll do. So I can rotate it a little bit, let's say here, escape, and then I'll just select, let's say, a cycle, and then you select the side. You see the side that is lighted on. If you click that side, that's where you are drawing. The cycle will be oriented automatically on the top view. So if I select this one, center here, you see a bit to here. You see I have a cycle on the top of this box, right? And then I can extrude this cycle. So I say extrude, click here, enter, and then you can take it either upward or downward as you see fit. Let's say upward here, and I can change this to shaded with edges, and you will see my cylinder is on top of the box there. So it's good to have your drawings on 2D wireframe so that you can position them correctly. Kwa mfano nikitaka kuweka a cycle exactly at the center of this front side, naweza kuja hapa niseme line, then nije nisitafute center hapa, nipige hapa mpaka hapa. Escape. Then hiyo cycle yangu sasa nitakuja kuiweka exactly at the center of that line. Right? So nikiklik hapa cycle, so nitatafuta center ya this line, let's say here, and then I can position it beautiful. Naweza kuipa radius value, right? Let's say 10, enter, right? Then I can click this line and delete it like that. You see? And then from there I can select this. Unaweza kwanza select object, then ukasema extrude, ama extrude, then ukaselect object, uka enter. Anyways, your choice. So for now, select this cycle, and then I click extrude, so you'll see automatically it responds like that. So let's say I extrude it by, let's say, 40, enter. If nikiandika minus 40, ningeenda to the other direction. All right. So I can change here the view. I can say shaded with edges, and I have it like that. Naweza kubadilisha color zikawa color tofauti. Kwa mfano hii naweza right click, right? Niseme properties, niseme I want my cylinder to be a red one, then close, and then escape, and then I'll have it like that. I can change here to southwest isometric. Yeah, and you have it like that. So I hope you have understood that. So what is the shortcut command for extrude? Is EXT, right? EXT is the shortcut command for extruding. Shortcut commands zinakusaidia kufanya rapid drawings, right? Instead of you coming here and clicking, you can just type the shortcut and then enter, and then everything else follows. So let's say 2D wireframe. So let's say I have a cycle, or maybe a polygon. Let's say polygon, let's say from here, sorry, Number of sides, let's say 6 number of sides from top view, let's say from here. Inscribed, let's say C for circumscribed. Radius, let's say 4, enter, right, like that. And then I can say I can click this hexagon and say EXT for extrude, enter, and you see it's already extruding, maybe by the height of, let's say, 20 to 0, enter, right? And I can see it from shaded with edges, it's right there. You can see my hexagon, right? Say to diaphragm. So I can click this and say erase, and yeah, yeah. So I hope you have understood it. Let me delete these two. Delete. So nadhani umeelewa kuhusu which side are you trying to draw your 2D feature from, so that when you extrude, it's extruding along that face, right? Along that face. So the other command here is loft command. So loft command inakusaidia wewe kutake features ambao ni 2D ku mix up, ku create a very complex feature in a way that is easier, right? So how do we do this? So first tunaweza tukaloft on the from top upward ama top downward ama front outward ama front backward, etc. So let me try to create something like a stool, right? Let's say from the top here, let me create a cycle. Let me say this cycle has a radius of, let's say, 15, enter, right? And then let me switch this to southwest isometric, like that. So make sure your ortho mode is on so that it limits your cursor either X or Y or Z. So now I have to draw hiyo feature ambayo nataka kuloft to, I have to draw it perpendicular to that previous feature. So I have a cycle here. Let me draw three cycles of different diameter here. The second diameter can be half, and then the third can be the same as the downward. And you see what lofting does. So chukua line hapa. So tafuta center hapa. So center ni hapa. So you can go X, you can go Y, right? You can go opposite X, you can go opposite Y, and you can go Z or opposite Z. You see that? So it says there, if you read where the cursor is, it says plus Z, positive Z, and it shows the angle is 90, perpendicular, right? It shows down here negative Z, positive X, negative X, etc. So up here, let's say I give it a height of, let's say 30, enter, 30, right? And then from there, you see the xy determines the orientation of this other cycle that I'll draw. Sababu nilianza kuchora kwenye top view, hata nichora another feature itaonekana again kwenye top view. So here, then I select the center here, and then I give this radius of, let's say 7.5, half of the previous one, right? And then I take another line again. Let's say a line from here going up by again 30, right? And then up there, escape, I draw another cycle of, let's say, a radius 15, similar to the lower one. If I orbit it, I can show you, you see how the cycles are arranged, right? So I can delete these lines which I was using to give me, to position my three cycles. See? Now I can even say here southwest isometric. So now see what the loft command say. So click loft. It says here select the cross section in lofting order. Lofting order kwamba order number 1 maybe to number 2, maybe number 3, or number 1 to number 2 to number 3, all possible. So let's say number 1, then number 2, you see, then number 3, then enter, enter. Press enter twice. So I can come here and say shaded with edges, and you see the feature that I have here. It's a lofted feature. You see, it's a complex feature which I just created easily by lofting, right? So I can right click here, I can change its properties. I can say I want this loft to be red like that and escape. You see, beautiful, right? Yeah, looks beautiful, right? Yeah. So I did that by lofting. Let me create another loft. So let me come here and say top view, right? Let me change this to 2D wireframe. Let me draw, let's say, let me try to draw from a square to a cycle to a square. So let's say you have a square like this, right? Let me come here and say southwest isometric like that. And let me say, let me draw a line from here to here so that I get the center. And then I draw a line, let's say from this center going up, maybe to here. And then there I draw, let's say, a small cycle like that. And then let's say I draw another line from here to here. Okay, and then let's say I draw a rectangle. Okay, so that if I want to draw it beautifully, let me say okay, you can even twist it. Nataka tu kutafuta guide ya kuchora hiyo kona rectangle. So let's say from here, let's say to here. Okay, let me delete this. Although haijakaa straight sana kama ile ya chini. Delete. Let's see if this will work. Mbona imekaa twisted kidogo. Let's see if a loft will work on that. Okay, let's say loft. So from here to here to there. Enter, enter. You see that I have like a feature, let me say shaded with edges. You see how that is? Gives you a complex feature appearance ambayo ingekuwa very hard to draw normally, right? So lofting inakusaidia kufanya vitu ambavyo ni vinakuwa na very complex geometries, right? I can even let's say draw, let's say on a top view. Let me say here 2D wireframe. Let me draw a cycle like this. Let's say a cycle. Okay. Let's say come here and say southwest isometric, and let me draw a line. Let's say from here to here, and then let me say draw a polygon. Let's say with 8 sides, and then I draw it here, inscribed in a cycle. Let's say to there. Draw another line, let's say to here. Let's say up here I draw, let's say an ellipse, center of an ellipse here, end point, let's say here, let's say that way. All right, let me delete this and that. Say delete. Yeah, let me say loft. Click loft here, then here, then here. Enter, enter. If I say shaded with edges, you will see you have a complex structure like that. Right? Kwa kama kombe flani, right? Yeah, so control Z. So what's the shortcut command for loft? So LOF is for loft. LOF is for loft. So if I want to loft, so LOF, enter, select objects, cross section, let's say here to there, enter. Labda nataka kuishia hapo. Nikija hapa nikisema shaded with edges, I'll see my loft there. So you can loft to as many objects as possible, not limited to 3, zinaweza kuwa 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. Yeah. What if you shift the orientation of lofting? So LO, enter. So let's say you loft from Okay, LOF, enter. So let's say loft from here and then to here and then to here. Enter, enter. Let's see what happens. Should I do with edges? You see that? You see, I changed the orientation of my lofting. See what happened. So yeah, I hope mpaka hapo umeshaelewa what lofting does. Yeah. So let's go to another. So let me delete this. Control A, delete. Let's go to another command. The other command here is revolve. So this helps you to create revolve the feature. Okay. Um, yeah. So it creates yeah, okay. So let's see what this does. Create a revolved feature. Kwa mfano, let's say I want to draw like a sphere, okay, ball. So naweza kuja hapa kwenye top view, okay, alafu naweza create let's say a cycle like this, alafu naweza chora line let's say from here to there, escape, alafu naweza trim, tr, enter. I trim this one. Let's say I want a sphere with a hole. So if I want a solid sphere with a hole, this will be the solid base. So I can draw my line here, and this will be my revolving line. So this here will be this space here is the radius of the hole in between this sphere. So let me come here and say southwest orientation like that. It's on the top view. Ningeza chora kwa front view vyote sawa. And then say revolve. If I click revolve, select object, I select this object and that object, enter, and then specify axis start point. Start from here to here. You see? So you see, it's revolving a sphere that is not that is hollow, right? A sphere that is hollow. Kwa sababu ya hizo lines zilikuwa sio one line, okay? So you can say angle, unaweza uka reverse, ukasema reverse, ika reverse the motion of revolving, right? Uka reverse, uka click hapa reverse, ika reverse. Lakini pia unaweza ukaandika angle of revolution. Ukiandika 360, 360, manake inakuwa ni complete revolution. Like that. You see that? So you have a sphere like that with a hole in between. The hole imekuja kutokana na space. Let me go again to the top view. Top view, right? Let me draw again a cycle here, right? Let me draw, let's say I want a solid, no hole in between, right? Let's say here, I can say TR for trimming. So trim this one. And then my line of revolving, I can put it, I can draw a simple line from here to here. And then I can draw another line from here to here, just to give me the starting point and the end point of my revolving, right? So I can come here and say southwest, and then I can click here, revolve, no, revolve, then I can select this one and that one, then enter, then I can select this is my starting point, this is my end point. So you see, it's now doesn't have any hole, right? It doesn't have any hole, and it's a solid one. So what happens if you don't give it a 360 degrees? Let's say tuipe 270 angle, 270, enter. So you see, you have a revolved feature that has a 270 revolution. You see that? Yeah. So from a revolved feature, unaweza uka create, let me delete these extra lines kwa sababu hazina kazi. Delete. Also can create a hollow cylinder from revolve, right? So let me say Control A, delete. Let me say top. Let's say front view. Front view. Let me draw like a corner rectangle like this. This will be the thickness of the cylinder. The then radius of the hole like that. If I revolve this square around this line, that will be a hollow cylinder, right? Solid hollow cylinder. So what is the shortcut for revolve? So REV is the shortcut for revolve. So instead of selecting it from there, I can even start by clicking the object, then type REV, then enter. Then it says here specify starting point. This is the starting point. This is the end point, and then I can revolve it here, and you see, you can see that. So if you want it to be 360, you can write 360. Sababu hapa unachoandika sasa hivi ni specify angle of revolution 360, enter, enter once. You see, you have your hollow cylinder like that by revolving. Okay, kama kale kastuli ka muda ule ambako tulika loft, unajua tungeweza kutengeneza pia kwa revolve, right? So tungeweza tu fanyeje? Tungeweza tumia let's say 3 point arc, let's say from here to here. Acha nizime ortho mode hapa. Let's say let me say starting point here. Okay, let me go to view. Let's say front view, right? And then my arc, let's say from here to here to there, and then give it like the top flat surface, let's say here, and then down here, let's say to here, down here to here. Kigusa endpoint inakupa margin ambayo itakusaidia kuchora straight line, right? And let's say I draw here to here. Oh, sorry. Let me draw a line. Let's say niwashe ortho mode, nipate straight line. Starting point yangu ya revolution. Natafuta starting point yangu na end point yangu ya revolution. Then hapa naweza kaibadilisha ikawa southwest. So nikasema select object, select this one, that one, that one and that one. Nakuja hapa niseme revolve, starting point here, second point here. Now I have it. You see, it's hollow inside because the lines are not making one object. Kwa mfano ingekuwa rectangle, kwa sababu all the lines zinaonekana kama one object, ingekuwa thickness. Lakini zile lines zikiwa independent, right, inaonekana kama different objects. Okay, kwa inakuwa hollow surface. So I can say 360, 360, enter, enter, enter. See, I have an object like the previous one by revolving. Okay, okay, so I can delete this. All right, so that's it about revolving. Oh yeah, let me see. Right, let me draw. Okay, let me draw by lines. Let me try to draw. So ukija ukitafuta hii point hapa itakupa mstari ambao unaonyesha where they align. Maybe here to here. Okay. No. Merge. I'm trying to find, there is a command to union these lines to make it one object. Um, okay, I'll check on it so that you have, if you revolve this square ambayo nimechora sasa hivi, hii itakuwa ni hollow surface kwa sababu hizi lines zinakuwa ni independent lines, zinajitegemea. Okay? Cause na revolve a hollow surface. Lakini kama tungechora kwa corner rectangle, unaona, corner rectangle, let's say this, you see this is one object, so it takes this as a surface, so you extrude it, it's more solid. But this one, it takes every line individually. I mean, if you revolve this, will be hollow surface. Okay. Okay, so Control A, delete. What's another command here? The other command here is sweep. So sweeping inakusaidia kutengeneza feature kama vile ya kutengeneza piping ama mikunjo ama routing, yeah. So what do? Feature ambazo una sweep lazima ziwe perpendicular to each other. Labda una sweep cycle on a curve, maanake cycle itakuwa labda kwenye top view alafu curve itakuwa kwenye front view ili ikae exactly perpendicular to that cycle. So what do? So top view hapa, top view, let's say 2D wireframe. So let's draw, let's say a cycle like this. And then we click here, front view. You see, on the front view, we see it like a line like that. Then on the top view is where we draw our path. So let's say we draw, unaweza ukatumia spline, right? Semi center. So this will be the center of the cycle. Let's say here, let me switch off the ortho mode so that it's free to move. So let's say here, here. Okay, escape. So kwanza, hii path ambayo unachora lazima iwe reasonable. Kwa mfano, huwezi ukachora path kama let's say like this. Escape. A path, let's say like this, enter. Alafu expect kwamba unaweza kusweep. Huwezi kusweep kwa sababu it does not make any sense kukunja hii pipe this way kulingana na diameter ya hii cycle. So it must be a reasonable path. Okay? So let me try to draw a reasonable path. So let's say spline, let's say here, let's say here, let's say there, enter. Right? So now I can go here and say southwest or isometric. So you see the path and the cycle are perpendicular to one another. That's then and only then you can sweep. So click sweep. It says here select object. So this is the first object. This is the second object. Sorry. So you click here sweep, select object, this one, enter, select sweep path or align or bezel blah blah. So this is the sweep path, right? So ukija hapa kwenye 3D shaded with edges, you'll see there you have your pipe like that. You see that? That's sweeping. Okay, let me repeat that again. These two features ambazo una sweep, object lazima iwe kwenye one view, the path lazima iwe kwenye perpendicular path. Kwa top view na front view ziko perpendicular to one another. So let's say if we draw our cycle on a top view, inaweza kuwa cycle, inaweza kuwa square, pipe, etc. And then if we go here and say front view like that, okay, so we can draw, let's say tutumie hii hapa 3-point arc. So from here, let's say to here, let me switch on the ortho mode to here, and then maybe switch off the ortho mode to, let's say there, right? Then now let's say here southwest isometric like that. So now my path is perpendicular to the object, which is the cycle. So shortcut for sweep is SW. SW for sweeping. So SW, enter, select object to sweep. This, I want to sweep this object, this cycle, enter, select path, this around this path. You see, there you have it. Yeah, so that's sweeping. Okay, so that was sweeping. Now let's go to Polysolid, then press pull, right? Then you finish this lesson. So Polysolid, let's say isometric. So Polysolid inakusaidia kuchora like walls and inaweza kuwa straight walls ama curved walls. So tunaweza tukawasha hapa ortho mode. So if you click Polysolid, it tells you specify the starting point. So let's say this is the starting point, right? And then it says specify the next point. So you can move your your see, this is along XY, your cursor as you want, and you position it. So ukiclick Polysolid, so say click H for height. So height ya hicho kitu unachotaka kutengeneza Polysolid. Say um height. So height, let's say 20, enter, then click here for width. Ama unaweza kuweka W for width, click width, let's say width yake unataka iwe na width gani, right? Urefu na unene wake, let's say 3, enter. So specify start point, let's say inachora along XY, so start point may be here. See, so height na width ya hiyo bar tuliweka ndo hii hapa. Width ndo wako ka thickness unakokaona, alafu height ndo huo upana. So unaweza ukachora let's say here, inafuata XY plane. Let's say here. If you want to draw an arc, you can click here, arc, and then you see it creates an arc. You can select this, the other point of the arc, let's say there, then enter. Oh, sorry. Let me put this on top view. Right, and say Polysolid. Height, let's say 508, and thickness, let's say 5, enter. So let me starting point. Oh, sorry. Polysolid, height, let's say 50, width, let's say 5, starting point, let's say starting point here. You can write now the next dimension, let's say 40, enter. You go down by, let's say 50, enter. Then we go this way, let's say by 40, enter. And then let's say click arc for an arc, and then let's say you click you put radius, specify endpoint. So unaweza uka specify, let's say here, right? Specify the next point on the arc, let's say. So ukiendelea hapo, endelea kuchora arcs, enter, etc. So nikija hapa nikiweka kwenye southwest isometric, you see this is what I have drawn. So ile height niliweka 50 ndo hii hapa, from here to here ni 50. Ile width niliweka 5 ndo hii thickness ya hiyo Polysolid. Yeah? Yeah, I hope you have captured that. Kwa mfano hata sasa hivi ukiendelea kuchora hapa kusema Polysolid, utaona inatokea hivyo. Maybe here, unaweza ukaenda hivi, unaweza ukaenda hivi, unaweza ukarudi hivi, unaweza ukaenda hivi. Like you can even sketch a guide. Okay, you can sketch a guide. Kwa mfano unaweza sketch hii hapa kona rectangle like that. Alafu nikija kwenye Polysolid nikawa nafatokea hapa, nafata hapa, naenda pale. Unaona inani guide. Hata ningekuwa na arc, ningechora arc, si ndio? Kwa mfano Polysolid kutoka hapa kuja hapa, unaweza ukafuta hiyo sketch baadaye. Hapa ukaklik A for arc, ukasema endpoint ya arc ni pale kwenye kona pale hapa hivi. au hapa katikati ta, then enter. You see, you have Polysolid like that. You can right click, you can change its properties, you can give it color, etc. etc. Yeah, yeah. So that is Polysolid. So what is the shortcut for command for Polysolid? POLYS. It's a bit long sababu kuna polygons na blah blah blah. So andika POLYS for Polysolid shortcut. Now finishing up, we have a press pull. Press pull banner in an extrude bounded area, right? In an extrude bounded area. Okay. So let's say Control A, delete this. So let's say we have on a top plane. Let's see. Kwa mfano tukichora cycle hivi. Alright, kama hivyo. Tukisema southwest isometric. Tukisema press pull ni kama ku extrude tu hii cycle. Press pull, ukiklik hapa. Naona tume extrude tu cycle. Okay? Lakini let's draw another cycle. Let's say a cycle here and another cycle inside of it. Another cycle like this. Another cycle here, here. Oh, sorry, let me go to top plane. Mara nyingi inakuwa vizuri ukichora michoro yako kwenye 2D, kwa kwenye top ama kwenye front ama kwenye right, alafu ukaendelea na other modifications. So unaona kwa mfano hapa, nikisema press pull, ita press pull hii surface ambayo iko bounded. So ukisema press pull, ona, ita press pull hiyo bounded surface. Umeona? Me press pull hiyo bounded surface. You see? Kwa mfano tena, hapa tuchore kwenye top view. Alright, let's say we draw a cycle here, another cycle, let's say here, and then let's say we draw a line, let's say from here to here, again another line from here to here. Okay, let's say southwest isometric. Hizi bounded regions zote unaweza ukazi press pull. So ukisema press pull, unaweza uka press pull haka region, uka press pull haka region, uka press pull haka region. Unaona? Bounded surfaces. Uka press pull haka region, uka press pull haka region. Haka. Let's say to here. Yeah, escape as you see fit. So you see that hizo feature tumezitengeneza kwa press pull. Okay, so press pull, say here, and then here, and then here, and then there, like that. That's what press pull does. It gives an extrusion to a bounded region, right? Yeah. I hope you have understood that. Okay. I hope you have understood that. Yeah. Okay. So we have done a number of things here about modeling. I hope you have captured a lot. So keep doing exercises, keep trying the commands that we have learned here. Hizi hapa ni 3D command ambazo zitakusaidia kufanya vitu vingi sana kwenye 3D drawings kwenye AutoCAD. It's a lot. You can do a lot of things like extrude, loft, revolve, sweep, polysolid, and presspull. Okay. So for the next lesson, we will see solid editing, right? These are the editing commands on solid 3D features. And yeah, we'll be on the right on a good track. So so that's it for this lesson. Hope you have enjoyed. Keep doing exercises, keep practicing, and you're on the right track. See you on the next one. Ciao.